What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. We back at it. So Pop Smoke's album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, just went #1 again. Christian Dior, I'm up in all stores. Congrats to the Woo. I mean, he may be gone, rip his soul. One of the most tragic things that happened, but, his spirit lives on, and, just his style has already made such a big, impact already. So we're gonna go ahead and in honor of Pop Smoke, we're gonna be making some drill today. So let's go ahead and let's see what kind of drill we can cook up. What's good, y'all? It's your boy KCB. We got another one today. We're gonna be making a drill beat. So in drill beats, it's gonna be a lot different from a typical trap beat, in the sense that you're not gonna have like where you might have your clap typically. So like with a like a standard trap beat, you're gonna have this pretty much all the time, just. But we're gonna be making some drill today, so we're not gonna be doing that. So it's gonna be quite different. Drill, drill's something that, I didn't really even make drill more than, about a year ago or so, until I started working with an artist from the East Coast, and he liked some drill beats. So, I made some drill beats, sent them to him. He liked them, used them, and so I was like, hey, this is another, category, another type of rap I can get into making beats for. So, I'm still working on them myself, but I'm going to show you guys just the tips on how to make a drill beat, like the basics for it, because like I said, it's going to be a lot different than the trap beats we've been making. So first we can start with like the clap, where we would put it. In this case, I use snares a lot for drill beats. I'll use a snare instead of the clap. That's pretty typical for drill. So in this case here, so this is my placement here for my snare. So you can see it's going to be quite different than where you would put a clap. So if we look in the channel rack here, so my snare is right here. So we can see normally the clap would be, like here, 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 no, I bet here, 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 and here. Not the case though. So instead of here, we're going a little forward here. Or I've seen some, like how at the end here, you'd see I have it set up. I've seen some leave it like that as well. But with these drill beats though, variety is going to add uniqueness, and you're just going to have to get the feel for kind of a different pattern. So with this one, so this is kind of the pattern for just the snare. So it's going to seem like offbeat even. A lot of the drums you're going to use, it's going to seem like that, but that's kind of the drill style. You have to kind of get used to it. I'm still getting used to it, but so that's kind of the basic for where you would put your clap or snare, preferably a snare. The second thing is going to be the hi-hat. So typically in like trap beats you use a standard 2-step, 4-step hat. It's not what we're going to do here. We're going to mix it up again. It's going to be almost like a stutter step with your hats. So alright, so we can see this is my hat pattern here, and with the hats it's going to be almost like an off step pattern, like a stutter step. In this case, an easy way to get used to it would be, so if you go 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1, that's going to be like your basic drill step pattern. But in this pattern I'll usually do that, and then I'll go back to the beginning and I'll go 2 and 1 and 2, so that way it adds more of a stutter step to it. And then generally I'll start again, and then on this page, like on the second half, I don't do the stutter. I just 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. So that'll kind of help you get used to it, and then you can kind of feel where you want to put rolls in with it. So with this, so here I'll play you guys the hat and the snare so you can get used to this pattern. So it's going to be like that. So it's going to be quite a bit different. a good way to get used to the pattern is like I make a template for drill, and then when I make drill, I'll kind of go back to that and I'll kind of alter it. And so it's to the point now where, you know, if I am like thinking of a drill beat, I already kind of have that pattern in my head and can add on to it. So that just helps kind of get, you know, yourself familiar with drill style. So we have the hat and the snare there. So the kick is going to be a little bit different pattern than like a typical trap as well. So like with this one, so with the kick I did, so you kind of see how, you know, I have my pattern laid out here. And this is something too, like you'll just have to kind of practice and get a feel for where you want to put your kicks. I usually always have one in the beginning, and then from there I'll kind of put it around, you know, my snare and my hats to where, you know, I can just hear that it sounds good. So like with my kick here and my hat and my snare, this is that combo. So that's my combo there. And then in drill, like you're gonna use a lot of different kick and 808 varieties to sauce it up. And what I did, like on the back of this one, was actually added some triplets on the kick. So that, and it sounds really good when you do have the drill. So it's like that. So it's gonna give it just more oomph on that, you know, that pattern there. So so that's kind of like the basic for our drill beat. The other thing is going to be like the 808 and using, you know, glides on that. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. We're going to get into the melody part. So we got our kick, we got the hat, and we got the snare. So I already went ahead and started making a melody because, you know, drill beats, like I said, the melody is going to be a little different too, because sometimes if you do a melody that, you know, you might do for like a trap beat, sometimes it just doesn't match up because the pattern of the drums is a little bit different. So so with this one, I just pretty much started kind of with a bass, you know, like background melody. I used two different things for that actually. I used the piano, and then here we go. Use the piano, and then I used the choir. I used the Labs plugin for that. And so this is almost kind of like a pad. So this is going to be like my ambient part of the melody here. And with these melodies, like you can do minor or major, kind of depends on who you're making a beat for. A lot of like Pop Smoke songs were actually major scale. So in this one, I'm actually going to be doing like a D, what am I think I did a D scale on this. Yeah, I did D major on this, so I'm doing D major scale on this one here. And so this is like the background choir melody we have so far. So it's kind of a nice background ambient melody. So usually I'll make a melody like that, throw some plugins, make it wide, add some nice reverb to it. So we're going to add on that there, and that's pretty much just chords, you know, with in the D major scale there. So very basic with that. You don't really even have to strum these because it's kind of like a pad where it's going to have a different release, and you know, so you can just kind of leave it like this. The next one, so I want to kind of add on to that deep sound, and so a lot of times I like to use pianos for that. So I just did a real basic pattern here. So this pattern by itself. So pretty simple. So those two together here. So we got our choir in the back, we got a piano in the back. For a lot of drill, you know, yeah, pianos are great, of course. Certain like, you know, cymbals, yeah, choir strings like that are always great. And then the other thing is going to be guitars. Guitars are always awesome for these drill beats. So we're going to go ahead, and so I pretty much just made a top melody for that the other melody there. So okay, so I pretty much just made this top melody here, just following the same scale. I'll usually kind of hum a melody out as I make it and go from there. A lot of times in this high melody, you want to have variety. So if your notes are all the same length, it's going to sound kind of the same. And for certain melodies, that's okay. But for one like this, we want it to be kind of more melodic here, so you can kind of see, how I lay my notes out. I have almost like some triplets in the mix there to give it a real effect. And then from there, I'll use Alt R and adjust the velocity so it sounds even more real. So with that, we just have a guitar melody here. It sounds like this. Kind of follows a little bit of the other melody, not necessarily counter melody, but it has some variety to it, so it kind of sounds like it. But so really you'll just kind of play around, make a top melody on top of your lower melodies. Make sure you EQ them so none of them clash, or if they're too conflicting, you can always take some out. So with all of our melodies here, alright, so with all our melodies here, this is what we have. And I'll definitely be making another drill tutorial in the future. I just kind of wanted to lay this one out before I made it, just for efficiency, because with drill, like I said, when you first start making more drill beats, you might have to kind of take a little bit more time on the melodies, because they might not match up the way you want them to, or the way they would with the trap beat. So just kind of keep that in mind. So we have all of our melodies there. We're going to use those. We're going to layer some. We're going to go ahead and make transitions when we have the full beat. But the next important part is going to be the 808 itself. And so the 808, we're going to use some slides or glides in it. There's multiple ways to do it. The easiest way is I'll usually lay my pattern out, like where I want it, my 808s, and then from there you can just hit the slide icon up here, and then you can start adding higher notes. And so when you start doing this, you kind of will play around and see, like you're going to want to use a lot of high notes when you do your slides or glides. So we kind of want that that really high, sounding 808. So and if we put it, so you can see the 808 starts here. So we put the slide just slightly behind that. So it plays the D first, but then when it hits this, it slides up to the B and it'll go back down to the D. And so in this one, I had it short to where it'll go up to the B, back down to the D, hit the D again, and then go to the F. So it's like, it's not as short as like the wee woo, but you can adjust the notes if you want. Like in this beat, I wanted it a little bit longer of a slide, but if you want that like wee woo effect, you can then just shorten it up with your notes. And so I pretty much just added those two. I can hear I wanted real high notes like that, and so I just have my pattern. I have my slides above it, and so this is what that sounds like. So that's one way you can get your slides in. Another way is you can actually go like in your 808, you can go to your little tool icon here, you can go turn portamento on and full porta on, and then turn your slide up, and then that way, so like I have another pattern I kind of laid out just to show you guys how to do it that other way. And so the other way, You don't have to actually add slide notes because the notes themselves slide. So like in this case, this is kind of that woo right here, and slightly shorter notes, and you can see there's no slide icon or anything. But if we play this one, kind of still has a woo. You can adjust this, like if it's not hitting, if it's too soon, you can adjust it. You can adjust it that way, and so that's another way you can do slides as well. But just the probably just the quicker way is just to hit the slide icon. But that's if you want to get a little more in depth with your slides. So we have the slides there. We have some of the slides hitting where our kick is, and then I have like a limiter on a side chain to make sure it doesn't clash too much. So we got our kick, we got the hat, we got the snare. So I'm going to go ahead and play our pattern, and then I'm going to add a couple more notes, maybe some rolls on the hats here. So let's just play everything. So I think I got just the pattern we want here, so we're gonna go ahead and start piecing this up. Alright y'all, so I think we got it all pieced together here. So let's see what we got.
Kyle cooked this beat.
There it is, y'all. We did it. Made a drill beat. Sounds great. We got it going. Another one in the books. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys learned something. Make sure to hit that sub, like, comment, all that. Lots more videos on the way. I'll be dropping another one this week. And we got the Lost Soul Loop Kit contest going on right now. It ends Friday. Winner of that gets the full kit, Mythical Melody Kit or the expansion drum kit. Beat, repost, collab with me. Thinking of some other stuff thrown in too, actually. So go ahead, check that out. It's my last video there. The link for that drum kit is on my page, on my banner, or my IG bio. So go ahead and hit that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking around. Hope you guys liked the video. And until next time, y'all.